Premier Salon and Premier Spa feature all manner of stock control functions. There are plenty to make use of, but don't worry, this needn't be daunting. My name's Edgar and today I'll go through the first of two videos for our stock control features using Premier Spa. The features shown in this introduction to stock video also work the same in Premier Salon. Stock Control Setup. To start the setup of your stock control, first log into Premier Manager. Next click System Setup and then head to System Configuration. You'll be greeted with three tabs at the top of the screen. Click the Stock tab. A list of toggleable stock control settings will be presented under the Stock tab. The first of these is Stock Control. Click this to make sure the system tracks stock movement, deliveries, stock takes, orders, sales, and record any changes to stock levels. Any stock sales are recorded independently of this. Warn on negative stock count, make sure that you receive a warning should any stock numbers drop below 0 in your system. As each product can be set up with a maximum in-stock level, Warn on over maximum order level toggles a warning if the user inputs a value higher than the maximum order level for that product when processing an order. Automatically generated stock order numbers does exactly that when you set up each stock item. Order authorization required is an option that will depend on the user. For example, if you toggle this option and then a user generates a stock order, they will then require management authorization to continue. The order can be amended up until the point of authorization, otherwise should there be any mistakes, the order will need to be deleted and recompleted. Automatically print delivery details allows the option to print any delivery details should you need them at a later date. Below this is the stock take difference threshold. This is where you can input the difference between any discrepancies against the numbers shown in a stock take and the actual number of items that are present. We strongly advise to leave this number at 0 for the most accurate result. Finally, you can set the default income centers for stock. This is useful when creating an entirely new product range of items. If you have set up a specific income center for retail, you can use the drop-down menus to set these now. If you haven't already set these up, I will now go through them. Stock Income Centers. We recommend that users check there is an income center created that will handle the revenue for any new items that are created. To do this, first log into Premier Manager. Next, head to the Financial menu and click Income Centers. You will be greeted with various tables outlining your product ranges as well as their income center groups. To create a new income center for the range of products, find the first box that has a default title between 1 and 80, highlight this, then write in a suitable name such as Premier Retail. Using the drop-down menu next to this, you can then select the income center group you would like to allocate this to. In this case, we will select Retail. Next, head to System Setup and click System Configuration, then the Stock tab to finish setting up any retail stock income centers at the bottom. Stock Item Setup. To start adding new stock items into Premier Spa or Premier Salon, head to the Stock menu in Premier Manager. The items next to the stock areas along the top line will go through the process of setting up your stock. That means you'll first need to start by setting up the suppliers of the new stock item. To create a new supplier, click the Suppliers section. Then enter the name of the product supplier in the top left, such as Premier Wholesalers. You can then populate the contact details of the supplier, their address, and any notes. Importantly, you can outline the lead time too. This will be where you can specify how long you will need to wait between any orders from that supplier and the delivery. Make sure to then input your account number in the box below, which will then be populated on the order in the system. Should the supplier be unable to deliver all the items for any reason, you can set the default action using the drop-down menu. By default, this will be set to back order, which will mean any stock items will be delivered at a later date. This can be changed to reorder or cancelled if you so wish. These can also be changed at the point of delivery for any non-delivered product. Below this, minimum order value simply sets a minimum value a new order from this supplier must meet, such as 50.00 for £50. If the supplier routinely charges a set amount for their delivery charge, then this amount can be added to the carriage costs box, which will be added to the order once it's generated through the system. You can then click the green tick to save the details. At this stage, you will receive a pop-up prompting you to create a manufacturer with the same name. Some suppliers will feature the same name as the manufacturer, such as Elemis. This will not be the case for other brands, however. Select No if you wish to create a new manufacturer of a different name. To create a new manufacturer, head back to the Stock menu and click Manufacturers. You can then click Create New. Enter the brand or name of the manufacturer in the top box, such as Supertan. You can then use the drop-down menu beneath to select the default supplier, which is Premier Wholesalers in this case. Click the green tick when you are ready. You will then receive a prompt to create a supplier of the same name if applicable, the reverse of the previous prompt. Select No if they feature different names. You can then leave this screen. Any created stock will need to be linked to a category or a type, so head to the stock menu and click Stock Categories to get started with this. The first thing you should do is check if there is an existing category for the range of products that you are looking to create. It should be noted that categories are not specific to suppliers or manufacturers. If no suitable category exists, then you can click Create New. Set up the name of the new category in the description box, such as tanning products. This will mean you can then have tanning products supplied by Premier wholesalers and tanning products provided by another supplier, which will both belong to this same category. Now that you have set up the stock suppliers, manufacturers and categories, you can set up a new item of stock. To do this, head to the stock menu and click Stock Details. You will be taken to a stock search screen showing every single product that has been set up in your system. Of course, you can also use the search filters at the top of the screen to look for a particular item from a specific supplier, manufacturer, barcode number, category or stock area. You can also order this list by using the filters on the right. All of the top filters will then be carried through to the Create New screen if you create new stock. In the stock search screen, click the Create New Item to start creating a new item of stock. You will be greeted with a new window which you can see has pulled through any filters set on the previous screen, such as Premier Wholesaler Supplier and Super Tan Manufacturer. This will also show the default income center. It's advised that once you've finished setting up your stock, you can amend the default income center back to none in the system configuration area of the system as shown earlier. You can now set the name or description of the stock item. In this case, we will call it a Super Smooth Tanning Cream 250ml. Please note there is a 40 character limit for whatever name you choose. Next, click the left hand side of the barcode box. Please make sure to click the left hand side and not the right to input the full item barcode. If the item doesn't have its own barcode, such as an item from a local crafts maker for example, click the Print Barcode Labels checkbox. This will then mean the system will auto-generate a barcode for that item. The reference will typically be the manufacturer's item product code, such as SSTC 250. You don't necessarily need to input the reference. The retail price will be how much you wish to retail the item at. You won't need to input any currency symbols, so £25 would just be listed as 25. Then input the tax code using the drop-down menu, which will typically be 20%. Then set any loyalty points awarded if you have a loyalty scheme set up and if you would like to provide points to a client who purchases the item. We generally advise 1 point for each pound, so they will earn 25 points in this case. You can then set any points a client will need to collect before they can redeem them against that stock item and receive it for free. Set the pack size next. This will be how many you can purchase at once from the supplier. For example, some suppliers may require you purchase that item in multiples of 6, so you will need to input 6 here. Should we input the individual item cost price, excluding tax, then the system will automatically calculate the pack cost alongside it. The order form sequence will prioritize the positioning of the item. This may be useful if the product appears in the manufacturer's catalogue or database as item number 67, and for convenience you may wish to match that to make it easier to locate. Next, you can set the reorder level. For example, you can reorder the product once you reach the last 2. While the supplier doesn't force you to order the item every time you place a new order with them, you can choose this by setting a minimum units per order amount. Alternatively, if you would like the system to advise you on how many products to order, you can set a maximum in stock level. For example, you can set that you would like no more than 10 in stock after a delivery. However, you will need to keep in mind the maximum amount if you are forced to order in specific pack sizes. For example, as you can only order this in multiples of 6, then 10 will only be suitable for single items. Should you select to order whole packs only, then the system will attempt to order 2 packs of 6 to make up the full value of 10, but you will have 2 items left over. Should this ever be the case, click Do Not Exceed Maximum in Stock Level. This will make sure the system will only order 1 pack of 6 instead. You can then finalize any filters of the item for the supplier, manufacturer, category and area if you haven't done so already from the previous screen. Next, set whether the stock type is for professional use, retail use or both. Finally, you can set the opening quantity you have in stock on site. If you have switched on Use Stock Control via System Setup, then this quantity will be locked and you will be unable to edit this following this screen. Just a forewarning. Click the green tick to save the new stock item details. this will now appear in the stock search section. To make a product inactive, as you won't be able to fully delete a product based on audits and stock reports, you will first need to locate the item. In the stock search screen, use the filters to find the product. Once you have found the item, check the stock level. If there is a positive number under the In Stock column against the item, you will be unable to make the product inactive. Once the item is out of stock, however, highlight it and then click the green tick. At the top of the next window that appears, you will see an inactive tick box. Click this to make the item inactive. Click the green tick once more and this will be removed from the active items in your system. You should be able to see this item if you click the inactive only filter in the stock search screen. To bring the product back, simply highlight the product, click the green tick and then make sure the inactive box is unchecked. Click the green tick to then finalize the details. Non-stock setup. You can also set up non-stock items, which won't need to be counted for a stock take. In the stock menu, click non-stock setup to do this. Here you'll be able to view items such as gift cards, tea, drinks, and any other non-stock petty cash item. To set up a non-stock item, click Create New. You can then enter the name in the description box, set the price to sell this as, the cost to purchase, and tax. Under the type of item, you can set that this is a petty cash item. This will mean that it is for internal use only. If you wish to sell the item to clients, then you can then set this as food and drink instead. Remember to set the income center for the new items. If you have yet to set one up specifically, you can set this to the next available slot and rename the income center later. It is recommended that you have a specific income center for any petty cash items compared to any other items. You can do this for as many items as you need. Click the green tick once you are finished. You should now be all brushed up on our introduction to stock features in Premier Spa and Premier Salon. Join me for part 2 of our videos where I will look at more advanced features such as stock takes, deliveries and reports. For even more stock features such as stock recommendations, why not reconfigure your software to Salon by Premier software? For more details, visit www.premiersoftware.uk/salon-reconfiguration. Alternatively, you can call our team on 01543 466 580 or email at sales@premiersoftware.co.uk. In the meantime, why not subscribe to our YouTube channel at Premier Software for weekly videos. We also have several social media channels for you to follow for regular content. Before you leave, check out our other videos and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching and take care.